Knowing the amount of feed that is adequate to feed your rabbits at all age is going to help you to keep a proper record of the cost of running your farm, especially in terms of feeding. Now, if you are either farming at a commercial scale or you're keeping rabbits for personal purposes, you will warmly welcome uh, practices or ways that would help to subsidize the cost of running your farm. And one way you can actually achieve that is through the feeding and also through the medication. In terms of the medication, is going to be you involving yourself in learning, knowing, and solving so many health issues in your farm all by yourself, instead of employing the services of a veterinarian. That is going to be costly. So if you can do all that medication yourself, or most of the medication yourself, you're going to be cutting costs in that aspect, especially if you're into the commercial scale of rabbit farming. Now, back to what we're saying. In this video, we're going to uh, give you the average cost of feeding a rabbit per day, per week, and in a month in Nigeria, especially using Scentfarms as a case study. As usual, you're welcome to Scentfarms. My name is God Scent of Scentfarms. Let's get into the video properly. Now, here in Scentfarms, we feed our rabbits the chicken feed. That is the alternative we're using because it is very expensive and it's far from our reach to actually get um, formulated rabbit feed. And also, if we are to formulate it by ourselves, some of the ingredients are not readily available, or they are not within our reach. Getting most of the ingredients is going to be not cost effective, is far from our reach, so you're going to be spending more. uh, in other words, you're going to be having a high cost of feeding your rabbit. So the alternative we use here at Scentfarms is the chicken grower feed. That is what we use uh, across all ages here in Scentfarms. And the particular one we use are the pelleted ones. There are different brands of grower feed that you can get out there. They are the grower match, you have the grower pellets and all that. So I no longer feed my rabbits a grower match, which is the dusty one. What I feed them is the pelleted grower feed. As you can see right here, they are pelleted, but this is actually a chicken feed. Now, here at Scentfarms, we've come to discover that you really do not need to feed your rabbits the whole of this bowl. I'm talking about one rabbit now. That is what we are uh, streamlining this topic down to: average cost of feeding one rabbit in Nigeria. So if you're having more than one rabbit, you factor the numbers, you do your multiplication, then you get to know what you're feeding the particular number of rabbits you're having in your farm. So let's just use one rabbit as a case study here at Scentfarms. This is what we do, no different from what we do. But first of all, let me point this out, that for you to get a good result or good feed conversion ratio that will translate into a healthy and a wealthy rabbit, you need to have a good stock of rabbits. We have excellent breeds of rabbits here. What we have here is the Hyla breed of rabbits. They are very good meat rabbits, good parenting instinct, take care of their youngs. They produce large litters, and they grow very fast, mature at a very quick rate. So you get your returns in a very short period of time and at a good quality. So we've come to understand that we really do not need to feed our rabbits that much feed, like The chicken will eat and eat and eat, not until it sees the bottom of the feed bowl that there is no food again. It's not going to stop eating. That's the chicken for you. But for your rabbit is going to eat to its satisfaction, and then even if there's still feed in the feed bowl, it's going to rest. Here at Scentfarms, we've come to discover that uh, the amount of feed that we need to feed our rabbits is just about 100 grams of feed. Yes, and this cup right here actually gave us the weight for 100 grams of feed, so we don't really need to uh, weigh the feed each time we want to feed our rabbits. We already have a container here, a cup here, that actually gives us that particular weight. So what we just do, we just serve to this level and feed our rabbits. So each rabbit here takes one of these a day. Yes, you heard me right. That is what we feed our rabbit. We feed our rabbit once a day here at Scentfarms, and just this one cup a day is enough for my rabbits. That is what I feed my rabbits in a day. Now, if you have one rabbit in your farm, a case study now, you might want to get to the to the market or the feed store, the animal feed store, to buy either one of these, which can actually last you for a whole month. That's talking about having one rabbit. Those of us that are in Nigeria are very, very familiar with this rubber that I'm holding here. So if you get to the retail store or the market where they sell chicken feed, you can get one of these. Now, one of these rubber out there in the market now for retail, it goes for about 1,200 naira. Yes, that is the actual value for this rubber as at the time of making this video. 1,200 naira is going to cost you to get this measurement, this rubber of chicken feed. Now let's do the maths. You're feeding your rabbit one of these in a day, and do you actually know that you have 32 to 33 of these that will fill up this other rubber? So if I'm going to take the measurement of these and fill it up here, I'm going to have 33 or 32 of these filling up this rubber, which means if you're feeding once a day, you're going to be your rabbit is going to consume this volume of feed in this rubber for 32 days. That is a whole month. Now let me chip in something here. There are ways that you can subsidize your cost of feeding, which is one of the reasons of making this video, and that is feeding your rabbit greens, feeding your rabbit hay, feeding your rabbit grasses, feeding your rabbit kitchen waste. Those are the ways that you can actually subsidize your feeding your rabbit. That is why I said the average cost of feeding one rabbit. So if you are employing those subsidiary measures, you're going to find out that this rubber can actually last you more than a month. Yes, that's true. This rubber can actually last you more than a month. So if you have 2 rabbits, which means this rubber is going to feed those rabbits for 15 days. Yes, that's 32 divided by 2. Let's say, okay, 16 days. It's going to feed them for 16 days on the average. That is if you are not employing other subsidiary measures like the use of your kitchen waste and hay and grasses, So if you're having a large scale like this, or now let's talk about, we're talking about feeding one rabbit now, which means you're going to be spending approximately 40 naira per day to feed one rabbit in your farm. Now if I'm buying this for 1,200 naira and I have 32 of this in here, So I'm just going to divide 1,200 naira by 32, which will give me the actual cost of this cup, and that translates into the average cost of me feeding one rabbit here in the farm. So 40 naira now multiplied by 7 days, which is in a week, is going to give me 280 something naira. Let's just round it up to 300 naira in a week. It's going to cost me 300 naira in a week to feed one rabbit. Now, translating it into a month, that means I'm going to be spending 1,200 naira to feed one rabbit in a month. That is going by this feed and what we practice here at Scentfarms on the average. But it can actually be lesser than that amount. That is if you are employing other subsidiary measures like the greens, the hay, and all that. So that is it for the average cost of feeding your rabbit in a day, feeding one rabbit in a day in Nigeria. So if you have more than one rabbit, you do the math, do the multiplication, you get your value. Then you know what is actually costing you to feed one rabbit here, or so you do the math and do the multiplication, multiplied by the number of rabbits you have. Then you actually get to know what it actually costs you to feed one rabbit in a day in your farm, and in a week, in a month, as the case may be in your farm. This will help you to keep a proper record of your farm expenditures, so that you know if you are getting good returns or good results for the volume or the number of feeds you're feeding your rabbits. And then you get to know if you're going to make adjustments in certain areas, or look for an alternative to that particular feed, or if the need be, you want to change the feed. Now, this particular feed consists of a 16% protein content and a 10% fiber content. Those are the two major nutrients that are packed in this chicken feed that I just showed you. And the fiber content can actually be increased by the feeding of greens or feeding of hay. You can actually give them hay to increase the fiber content and all that. If you've watched this video to this time and you're yet to subscribe, I implore you to do that right away. Please click on that subscription button, click on the notification bell as well, as it encourages us to bring you more enlightening videos like this. From me, Godson from Scentfarms. See you in the next video. Peace out. Bye bye.